Everyone, and welcome to the Call of Duty Mobile Sub-Saharan Africa Championships. We are here tonight on the ACGL channel, and it's going to be myself, Trout, joined by the one and only, a man that I have never been in the booth before with. It's Mr. Fab. How you doing, Fab?
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy. I'm excited to be here. Thank you very, very much. It's the first time, my first time actually being here. So, yes, I want to know how this show goes down. So I'm excited to be here. Really
Man, we're excited to have you. We're really excited to have you. It's going to be great. It's a new, fresh take on a game that I'm still sort of a little bit new to, and I understand that you are well and truly entrenched in this the scene. You know all the teams. You know who's playing tonight. It's crazy. So I'm glad, and I'm curious to see your take on certain things, like we had last week. And yeah, so let's go ahead. Start off with who's playing tonight. It's going to be Rage Esports versus Zero Remorse. So an absolute banger of our first match here. Of course, we are in the winners bracket semi-finals. So talk me through your thoughts. What are you feeling for this game?
You know, okay, well, if you ask me in any day, any time, I would say Zero would look very good, you know, against Rage Gaming. But you know, Rage, they've been in the scene for a while. I mean, before they got to this position, it took a while, you know. You lose, you learn, you know, they've gone through the grind. And they're actually at the top level right now, going against Zero Remorse, and they've been so consistent. That is one team I can say for a fact that they've been so consistent. That is Zero Remorse. I mean, you have a man like Sensei in the team. That young man is just something else with a sniper. It is scary to watch him play. And also on the other hand, for Rage Gaming, you know, Apathy is not going to be sleeping tonight, so it is going to be crazy. I mean, two giants coming together. It's going to be sensational. If you ask me, it's going to be sensational tonight.
I couldn't agree more, man. And coming off of their win, that being Rage Gaming, they beat Cast Esports, and that was one of the biggest upsets, from what I understand, in the scene for a while, as like we said, in a 3-1 fashion. So it wasn't even like it was a really, really close game. It was an actuality, but at the end of the day, the score reflected as 3-1. And now the previous side as well, where it was Zero Remorse who took out EG Destroyers in a 3-2 fashion. So like you said, it's a battle of the Titans here. These two guys are like the best of the best and the top part of the bracket as well. So I'm very excited to see how these games are going to progress tonight. And if we could have a quick look at the maps, we can talk about what we're expecting from these teams. Right, so we have a beautiful set of maps here. We've got Standoff for Hardpoint, Raid for SD, Raid for Control, over to a Summit for Hardpoint if we run the distance. And if we go all the way to a Game 5, we'll be closing things off in SD on firing range. So knowing these teams and your fresh take on things, how are you expecting these maps to go? Are you going to give us a map count, or what score are you thinking here?
I mean, if you, I'm saying a 3-0. I don't know the team. I'm saying a 3-0 tonight. I don't know which team will get the job done. But I know it's either Rage or Zero game for a 3-0. Because I mean, looking at Hardpoint, it is one of the best matches in the entire scene. I mean, Standoff, goodness, that is the OG of the OG maps in the entire game. So definitely, everyone knows how to play the map. They know where to hold. They know how to hold the point. Definitely, they are very experienced in this particular map. Down to S&D, Raid, this is going to be a tricky one. The snipers would be very active on this map. I mean, you need to be on point. I mean, the Raid has to be, they need to be aware of Sensei and Zero Remorse. They need to be aware of Apathy around the corner. And Banks coming in. That is if he plays for Rage Gaming today. Banks is a very good sniper. That is if he plays for Rage Gaming. Down to Control. I've noticed that Control, when attacking the B side, which is Ring, you can tell that there's always a very fast cap on Control. So I mean, we saw it. I've seen it like time and time again from this team. Very, very experienced team. They know how to play Control. And if we go the distance and we see some mid Hardpoint, your SMG player needs to be on point. I mean, it's a very close map, so you need to be able to strafe, get all your shots in. I mean, get the points, and you know, just do what you love to do best. And finally, if we go to Game 5, which if you ask me, I doubt we go to Game 5. S&D, firing range, and OG map also, they know how to play this map. Snipers be very active. I mean, you need to be aware of Banks and Sensei tonight. Those snipers, they need to show us what they really have.
I mean, I really could agree more. And seeing them play in the previous rounds in S&D, specifically on firing range, Sensei just taking over with that sniper. Like you said, when they're trying to go down the left-hand side, down L towards B-bomb to get the plant as quick as possible, he just seems to come around the corner at the perfect time, get even 1-2 pieces. It's crazy. And it's interesting what you said about Control there. I really like that you see that typically on an attacking round, B is capped really quickly. From what I've learned in a good control strategy is you send all of your resources to the more difficult point to cap and at least find 2 ticks onto it, and then you can rotate over and try to get as much time on the sort of more difficult one, or the easier one to catch rather. And then if you have timed it right, it should end with a 2-2 tick rate, and then you can just really quickly bounce between them. But like that, having said that, the fact that this is going to be a 5v5 and that the spawns are a little bit more unpredictable than what I'm used to, it is really going to come down to those players that go off in the point, like you said. So all the SMGs in Hardpoint, if they are picking up time and getting the kills, it's going to be a very, very entertaining night. The one thing that we have to have, that we haven't spoken about yet, is the prize pool. We have 11,000 Rand up for grabs here. Of course, first team, first prize, going away with 5,000 Rand in the back pocket. Second, 3,000. Third, 2,000. And the MVP with a whole $1,000 in the back pocket. That is a lot of chicken nuggets you can buy, if you ask me.
That is a lot of money. I mean, I was saying earlier, I need to be the player right now because I'm a good sniper, if you ask me. So I need to be the player, not the caster. But I mean, I'll be very, very happy to see how well these guys, they play against each other. Because I said it earlier on, these are titans in the game. They've been in the scene for a very long time. They know how to play this game. I mean, if you ask me any day, anytime, I can tell you that Indaize will be one of the best anchor players in this particular game. That is, if he's playing one of the best anchor players, you can tell that he understands the map, especially firing range. If you see firing range Hardpoint, he understands the map to a T. I mean, you can tell after seeing how he has played over the month. I mean, 6 months, they've really, really improved. Indaize, Apathy, all those players, they've really improved. Also, Zero Remorse, Sensei and the rest, they've been so consistent. So this is going to be a good map, good game. 5 games, a best of 5. This is going to be a really, really good game.
I couldn't agree more. But the thing is, I'm going to have to give a little bit of a critique to Zero Remorse. Watching them play last week, the one thing that I will say that they do quite poorly is actually secure time. It often turns out the teams that have the really high class players, in the sense that they have like Sensei, and I believe there was another man, I can't exactly remember who it was, but there were 2 players that consistently did well on all the maps. When you have players that go off that well, they tend to sort of go towards more of a TDM game style. So they go and try to get more kills, and then they don't have as much pressure on the hill and picking up time in Hardpoint. And we saw them go down in the first Hardpoint. I think it was 249 to 180, right? And it was Zero Remorse that made a comeback, and the comeback started when the entire team started playing around the hill and tried to pick up as much time as possible, as opposed to running around trying to get as many kills, look flashy. And I think that's a problem with a lot of the esports teams that I've seen, especially here in South Africa and in the African scene. It becomes TDM very quickly, and you lose your fundamentals. And then if you have a team that's well structured, they just pick you apart so quickly. And I like what you said, that Apathy, being such a good anchor, knows how to control those spawns, how to get his teammates in and around the point. And now that we have this sort of really chaotic game style, that of Zero Remorse, where they just try to go for as many kills as possible, keep it as scrappy as possible against a team that is as structured as Rage Gaming, I think it's either going to be a complete blowout or we're going to be running the distance.
For a fact, I would say when it comes to hardpoint games, the kills, your point control, everything matters. I mean, you said it correctly. These teams, they go for the kills. I mean, they want the flashy kills, the flashy plays. I mean, highlight reels, everything, yeah. But I mean, what is very important is the point. It is key to play the point. I mean, the kills matters a lot, bro. You need to be in the point. Whatever you do, remember while you're playing hardpoint game. I mean, while you're actually playing the mode, you need to be in the point. It really matters a lot. But Zero Remorse, goodness, I know for a fact they're a complete team. When I say complete team, I mean that they know how to get the kills. They know how to get to the point. They know how to control the game. They know how to control the map, and they definitely know where you are spawning from. They've been here for a long time. They've done this over and over again. Also, Rage Gaming. So these are titans. Honestly, I keep saying it again. These are titans. It's going to be crazy to see how well they perform against one another.
Like you said, there's perfect titans. And correct me if I'm wrong, but both of these teams are fully Nigerian. They're both from your homeland, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they're Nigerians. All of them. They're all
so then I'm well out of my depth, and I don't know the first thing about how they play or anything like that. But just from an observation, like I said, it really seems as though Zero Remorse played a lot more of a chaotic game style, which works very well, especially if everyone shoots straight and everyone can shoot straight consistently. You can pick up a lot of time. But having said that, there is a huge but. It doesn't matter if every single person in your team goes negative, but if you have the most points at the end of the day, you win the map, and that counts more than all the kills put together on the map.
I mean, if you ask me, I would say whatever works for you, please use it. Don't fix what is not broken. If it's not broken, don't fix it. If you think the kills will go for you, fine, go for the kills. If you think the OBJ plays will go for you, fine, go for the OBJ plays. I mean, whatever works for you, please just stick to it. Don't listen to me talking right now. Just if you're actually watching the stream, whatever works for you, please stick to that plan. Because definitely, I don't know what's actually going on in the game. You do know what's happening in the game, so you know how to handle certain situations. But for me, looking from outside, I would say make sure you try and balance both kills and the objective. You know, even if you go negative, make sure you try and get that balance between the kills and the objective. It's very, very, very important to getting the job done in any hardpoint game. Very, very important.
Oh, exactly. So points win you games, and then maps win you series. And I'm curious to see how far we are. If we could have one of the admins let us know what the story is. Okay, so we've just been informed that there's one player struggling to join the match. But in the interim, what are you looking for in terms of a setup? What do you think is a really good setup that's difficult to break in Call of Duty Mobile, specifically on a map like Standoff?
Bro, if you ask me, I would definitely say I need to see more smokes. I need to see more tacticals. I need everything to go into the point. I mean, looking at Standoff, the first point, which is a courtyard, it is a very tricky place to hold. I mean, most teams can't get full hold of the point. It is a very tricky map, and if you can break it, please, you would have a very good run in the game. And early rotations is very key. I keep saying it. Early rotations will win your game. It doesn't matter how good you are, like your gunfight. It doesn't matter how good you are with the gunfight. You need to make sure you have somebody going towards nest as early as possible to give your team a better spawn, because spawns matters a lot in this game. So definitely, I would love to see smokes, the tacticals coming in play, early rotations, and make sure you don't die, which is very important. Don't die if you're playing the anchor role. Very, very important. Just don't die and just have a good time playing the game. Really have a good time playing the game.
Oh, I like that. I like the use of utility. That's a big thing that I saw that both these teams actually do very well. At every single point, there is at least one smoke that goes in. If it's not a smoke, it's going to be a concussion or a grenade. And then on the other side, everyone seems to be running around with your trophy systems. Everyone has a trophy system in the hill, and they do a good job of keeping out those nades and the utility. But one thing that I really, really like to see, and it's a nice layer to this game, is specialist. I love the idea of a specialist because it just adds that extra layer of that amazing play, or that one person that can go completely off. If you have a purifier, for instance, and you're sitting in the hill, you can kill everyone who's coming close, keep that hill for an additional 15-20 seconds, wait for your teammates to get close, and it's vice versa. If you're trying to break into the hill, let's say now you have the Annihilator, you come in there, you get 3-4 clean shots, it's you, 1 versus 1 with your regular gun, you've already got that sort of momentum, you take the chal, break the hill, then your teammates there did. I just love the idea of having a specialist, just adding that extra bit of utility to break hills, or even get set up in the mid-map. Like you said, P1 in most maps is chaotic. If you get like 30 seconds, you've done very, very well. It means you've been able to keep away the team as best as possible. So the trick is being able to chain together if you can start off with a good amount of time on P1 and then chain it with spawns into P2, you're looking very, very strong for the rest of the game.
I mean, you know Standoff to be a very, very good map. Definitely, these players, they need to have one man. I mean, I wouldn't say one man, but they need to make sure they have like at least 2 objective players, which is very key. You can't just leave one man in the point to play the objective role or alone. It's not possible. They will easily actually break into the point. So you need a very strong hold if you actually trying to get the win in any hardpoint game, and to get the control of the game. Definitely, you need 2 objective players. I would say 1 trophy system, not like 2 trophy systems, 2 smokes, and the purifier is a broken operator skill. My goodness, I've seen that thing straight out in an entire point. I mean, P2 in Standoff, just the purifier going from the stairs going up top, you can actually spray down the entire room and you can get control of the point. So as I said earlier on, it is very important to actually have that in play today. So definitely, I would love to see how they share the operator skills, and definitely how they use their utilities tonight. It's very, very key.
Yeah, I agree, and I like the idea that you said that you need at least 2 people in the point. With it being 5 versus 5, you can have 2 players on the point. You can have 2 ARs, 2 SMGs, and then you can have your flex player. And your flex player generally is your root man. So that can be the person that once 2 people are in the hill and the ARs are watching the angles, keeping the spawns, that guy can just run around and go havoc, right? He'd get as many kills as possible, and then he can be the first person on the rotation to go find the spawns on the next hill, whether it be with 20 seconds left on the previous hill or anything like that. But the one thing I will admit with the spawns in this game, you can really be gifted. Every now and again, it just happens that someone magically spawns behind everyone, and then you just get lucky. But generally, on a hill like P3 on standoff, you generally don't see that if you get that one person in the back of the map, the anchor sitting back there holding those spawns. But I have seen it, especially on raid. There are just some really crazy spawns which allow teams to sneak their way in.
I mean, raid spawns are broken. If you ask me, I will tell you that is one map that have like the worst spawns. The spawns are so broken. You can't really have a good anchor player in the raid map because somebody can actually spawn directly behind you.
That's what I'm saying. It's crazy.
I was actually playing a game, was it like some days back, and I think I was playing raid. No, not raid. Would I say raid or crash? I was playing crash Hardpoint, and literally me spawning. There was somebody behind me. I don't know if he was camping there from a while ago, but there was literally somebody actually coming behind me. I don't know if the spawns were actually messed up, but the spawns are terrible right now playing Hardpoint game. Before we had very good spawns, you know, you could tell that the anchor could actually get a good control. But of late, we've been having very crazy spawns, but still yet. Have an anchor player, let him get control of the spawns for you. Make sure he's there, make sure he's working. I mean, the IGL will need to do a lot of work. IGL will need to do a lot of work to make sure everybody's playing their role to perfection tonight.
I like that. I like the idea of having an in-game leader. I like that the comms have to be clean. It's just sounding like that this is lining up better and better. And the more we keep talking about it, we're going to going in circles. So surely we can get into the game now.
Yeah.
Okay, so update from the admins. It is going to be a 4 versus 5 start because we are already 40 minutes over schedule. And if the player who hasn't made it in isn't in by the second game, it is going to be a forfeit, and the team with the 5 players is going to be awarded with an automatic win of the series, which isn't what we want to see. But rules are there for a reason, and it is going to get late very quickly. Regardless, we're going into game number 1, which is going to be standoff. And very excited to see how this plays out, especially with that little bit of a disadvantage to start us off.
Let's see how the games go.
Okay, so it appears that it's somebody from Rage Gaming that has not made it into the lobby. Oh, we're still loading in. Sorry, everybody, for the technical difficulties. It'll come right. Tell me, Fab, in the competitive scene here, can you see weapon pings on the map when players are shooting nearby?
What do you think?
If you're in a competitive scene on the map, if somebody is shooting, can you see them come up on your map as a red dot?
You should see that. You should see that. But I mean, it doesn't really occur like that to me. When I watch them play, it doesn't really occur to me. It doesn't really occur.
Okay, looks like we're going to actually have a quick reset here. Sorry, guys. It seems like a few more of the players couldn't get in. So you get to look at our lovely faces again and get to talk a little bit more. So tell me, me being new to the scene and everything like that, who are the players apart from Sensei and Apathy that we should be looking out for in these teams? There can't be a one-man show. There has to be a whole team.
No.
Who do you think are the other people?
If you ask me, I would say Indaize for Rage Gaming. I said it earlier on, Indaize is key. I mean, just the full squad. Tipsy also is cracked. I mean, that young man is too good with the PP19, and he has been so consistent with that weapon. So, I mean, he is someone you need to look out for. For Zero, I can't really say much about some of those players, but I would say for a fact it's a team game. So it's a team game. Everybody needs to play their roles perfection. But Rage Gaming, they have like heavy hitters on the squad, and instead of Zero, so they've been on the top for a reason. So definitely they will show us why they've been on the top tonight. So I'm excited to actually see what happens today. Definitely, let's see what happens today.
And tell me, on the topic of roles and SMGs and snipers and ARs, what are the current meta weapons? Because like I said, I'm still trying to feel my way out into the scene here. What are the weapons that you think is like standard for all teams?
The beauty of Call of Duty Mobile right now is that they've made it possible for us to have more than 5 or 6 cracked guns, because like I can use the X9, I can use the PP19, I can use the CBL4, and they will still shred. So just pick out the gun that works for you the most. I mean, whatever gun works for you the most, please use the gun, because there are so many other guns actually very good. And the SKS now is just it's a nuisance right now, because it is literally 2 taps or 3 taps to the head, and that is all. Even the body shot, it is just raw for you to play against a very good SKS player. So I mean, the snipers are cracked. I said it earlier on. Even the RUS, the RUS, for some reason they made the gun look good too. It has been very good for a while, but this season it has actually gotten I would say a slight buff, so it is still very good. So I mean, SMGs are flying, the assault rifles are actually flying too. The Kilo 144 and the Creek 6, my goodness.
I've seen a lot of the Creek 6, yeah.
Oh my goodness, you see a lot of guys turn to ice tonight. So yes, that is one for part of the game too, because the Creek 6 is being played tonight. The Kilo 141 also being played tonight. I mean, but definitely we see more of the Sweetbait X9, RUS, PP19, which is very key, PP19, and the Creek 6 in play today. Definitely the Creek 6 and the CBR4. You can't go wrong with those guns. You just can't go wrong with those guns.
Oh, I like that. I like that there's a little bit of spice in the pot here, that you don't have to use the standard 3-4. Generally, you tend to see a 2-weapon meta in the other side of Call of Duty. So that's crazy. I like that there is that much variety, and I really do appreciate that. That means that there is a room for every style of play, and I'm assuming we're going to be seeing that quite spectacularly tonight when we get in. I'm assuming that we're going to be getting in very soon. Sorry for the delay, everyone. I promise you it's not our fault. It is just a case of network at the moment, and we do live in Africa, which is not the greatest of things, but it could be worse, you know? So at least we're here. Look at us casting some Call of Duty. It's going to be a good time. I'm very excited.
It's going to be a good time. I'm actually happy. At least my first time, seeing these guys play on this big stage. So I'm certain it will be a blast, because these are two big teams, and definitely the bands afterwards. Oh goodness, you just can't go wrong with the bands afterwards. You know, it's going to be fun after here also. So yeah, everything joined together is going to be a good night. Everything is going to be a very, very good night.
And tell me, sorry. Okay, sorry guys. We'll be right back. We're going to have a quick intermission break. We're having a chat with the admins. The players still can't get in. We might be having to go ahead with the forfeit. Be right back.
I'm 24 years old and I'm from Joburg. So now we can go into the competitive scene and have no excuses, because it's just a smooth game with servers brought into the country.
celebrating Call of Duty mobile activation in South Africa. So we started Carry First 4 years ago because we saw that mobile gaming was massive everywhere in the world, and that we thought mobile gaming would be sort of the best suited way to build a large, meaningful company across Africa. We have like the youngest population in the world, it's fast growing, it's dynamic, it wins in every other cultural sector, whether that's music, art, entertainment, sports. and gaming should be no different. And we thought, you know, this was the time to bring and catalyze mobile gaming across Africa.
It has been round one, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be shortly with you. Round two coming up.
My name's Cristiano dos Ramos. My gamer tag is Tiano. And yeah, I've been playing Call of Duty Mobile for the last 3 years. I made a plan to get here today. In South Africa, there are few esports that you can have a career from. Call of Duty Mobile, not yet, but I'm definitely hoping in the near future. A lot of us are sponsored by certain teams and organizations. Obviously, with the inception of the brand collaborators now with Call of Duty Mobile, that's a blessing for us.
All right, everybody, we're back with 3 seconds before we jump into this game. We will be starting as a 4v5, as we previously stated. And unfortunately, if the players don't get in by the next game in the S&D, it'll still be a forfeit. So let's hope that they can get the players in. Regardless, we fly onto P1 to see who is going to be able to start things off. And of course, it's Apathy drawing their first blood onto Sensor.
At the moment, you spot the side of Rage Gaming now in a very good way now, but I don't know how long they hold it, because I said it earlier on, if you get a full control over, if you get at least half control of the first point, it is a lot. It means a lot for your team. But so far, there is currently a contest. Rage Gaming now will lose the point to Zero Remorse. Definitely, there's currently a disadvantage. Zero, they have 5 players, and you spot Rage currently with 4. But I mean, everything put together, it should be a very good game.
Absolutely, and I like exactly what Zero Remorse has done here. They've done a bit of a heads-up play. They found 14 seconds, and they have rotated. They have, as you can see, play number 3. That's going to be Mr. Saint, already getting set up for the next kill, but he has a huge 1-on-1 to win against Mr. Sensei, but of course, it's Sensei who comes out on top. So it was looking like a good set of spawns going the way of Zero Remorse. It has been flipped and out, but because it is a chaotic spawn game at the moment, they are close enough to contest. Saint wins his one, and back into the point we go, and it's going to be a 3-on-2 to see who can break this point.
Is very important, but that would not last for long. You can spot the side of Zero now. They have a very good push towards the point. Can they get full control of this point? But definitely Rage still a 4v5 trying to get into the point. I mean, the smoke's actually coming out from this young man, but can they get the full control of this hill, which is very, very key. But Zero Remorse, they still stand at the point. You spot them at the point, and the Creek 6 earlier on, the Creek 6 is still in play. They have good kills going on. I mean, Zero having a very good time. It is like a dance for them. They are really having a very wonderful time right now in this point.
Couldn't agree more. Even though they are the player up, it doesn't seem as crazy of a blowout as I was expecting. Zero Remorse are doing well. They're not having it given to them easily. I'd say Rage Gaming is still putting up a really contestable fight, but as I say that, with 22 seconds, they are really not getting their rotations through. As you can see, 2 players from Zero Remorse are already getting set up. The spawns have flipped and out. So now we tend to see that this next kill coming is very, very potent in terms of picking up a lot of time. But of course, Chaos, he has full streaks. He has the claw in his back pocket. So here we go. Streaks are going to come on through. He's going to be able to find at least one in the mid-map. And in terms of rotation, you don't get much better than that coming out of Zero Remorse.
This lineup is just scary. Akin Josh is in the game. I mean, this young one has been the GOAT for a long time for a reason, and he's finally back in the game. Vector for the side of Rage currently with 7 kills to his name, and the CBR, I said it earlier on, the CBR4 and the Creek 6. You just can't go wrong with this weapon tonight. So far, Rage Gaming, they now go to the point. They not try their best to play towards nest, but they still can't get control of the point. You spot Zero Remorse in a very, very good position right now. They have the point, and you spot Akin just still outside, making sure there is no break. There's no one going through the staircase. There's nobody actually pushing the point. Zero still in the point, but you can spot Indaise again for the contest, but still looking for a way to break the point. Just can't make it happen. Sensei is frying. Apathy will go down. Zero Remorse currently in still a good lead. This is literally triple the side of Rage Gaming. They need to dig deep to find a win tonight. It is going to be a rough one for them.
Yeah, exactly. They need to find something here, but as you can see, the rotation coming through now. It has been won for the side of Rage Gaming for a change. They will be first to the hill, and they'll be able to keep it for a little bit. But as you know, it's going to be Vector with a nice little 4-piece as he pops the claw, gets the kills, holds down the point. That is a fantastic hold from them, as they will be trying to get back towards the point here. As it unlocks, it's going to be the side of Rage Gaming finding the first bit of time. But as I say that, here come the streaks. They're holding off one side. Ender and Apathy still going big for their team. Sensei trying to be the man to break on through. He finds one. The second, it is all down to Saint in the point, and he is a man on a mission to see how long he can stay alive. But yeah, he is about to get taken out, and as I say that, it's going to be the side of Zero Remorse that simply bully their way back into the point.
I mean, if you ask me from the beginning, I would say going the 4v5 against a team like Zero Remorse, it is just rude to them. I mean, what do you expect to happen? Currently, Zero Remorse having a good time, but you know, Rage Gaming, because they actually won down one man, it's going to be a rougher for them to actually break the point. Because now they needed one man to make sure he's always either playing towards Nest or in the point for the control, but they just can't have it right now. You spot Apathy still playing far away from the point, looking for a way to play towards Nest. They don't have the point, but you spot Sensei doing what he loves to do best and playing bottom ground right now, and the analytics for this young man will actually go crazy. 15 kills to his name. Sensei is doing what he's meant to do right now, just absolutely shredding the lobby for Zero Remorse.
Yeah, and he's just popped out his Annihilator, and that's a quick 2-piece to him. He's looking to work his way towards some streaks. He's checking the spawns. He's doing everything correct, being that typical Slayer where he has a set position in the map, and you know that is Sensei's zone. No one comes nearby, otherwise you're going to get shredded. Like you said, Saint trying to keep a contest going here, but of course Sensei finds him, gets the kills. He is unfortunately traded out, so no streaks for him, but it doesn't matter. 160-38, the side of Rage Gaming really struggling as they cannot get anything going. But of course, they are that man down. The fact that they have over 30 points is an achievement in itself.
I mean, you just have to commend these players because, I mean, going to 4v5, I said it earlier on, it's a rough one, but they made it possible. They made it here too. So it is a plus. It's a plus to them. I mean, it is going to be a mental battle aside, being in the lobby. It's going to be a really mental battle because you're going against a team like Zero Remorse, one of the best teams in the entire scene, with just 4 players. And even the 4 players, some of them are still lagging. So it is a rougher for the side of Rage Gaming. Now they just can't find their footing in the game. It is a very rougher for them. But I believe they should try their hardest to, either get early control of the next point. But they just can't hold it. That is the crazy part. They go for the spawns. They go for the early rotation, but just can't hold it. But Finally, Spot in dies in the point with the CBR4 still shredding, and now there's the contest. Rage Gaming, they're looking like they might just get a control of this one, but not for long. Once again, there is a contest. Zero is not backing down right now. Still with aggressive plays, and he will go down. In there is the man we talked to actually give them a lot of points. He will go down to this to Zero right now. Zero still having a good one. Rage good for the contest, but they just can't seem to hold the point. Zero having a fantastic ride. You spot the side of Sensei with the CBR4 still going. It's still going crazy. Zero already trying to go towards Nest. You can spot the player already playing towards Nest, which I said earlier on is very key to playing hardpoint standoff. You get early rotations, you get the win, and make sure you win your gunfight, which is also very key. And so far, Zero, they are doing just that tonight.
Absolutely, they're winning every gunfight. They're getting the setups. And I think the fact that you mentioned that nicely, even though the side of Rage Gaming, they do get the early rotations, they can't hold it because it comes down to a set of trades, right? No matter how many times you do well, if everyone is just trading, everyone gets 1 kill, it's always going to be the side of Zero Remorse that comes out on top with that extra player. And that's exactly what's been happening here. But as you say that, even though they have the extra player, it still seems like they're walking over the side of Rage Gaming here. There is no answer to the side of Zero Remorse. It is literally Zero Remorse from them, as they are only 25 seconds away from closing it out here, and every single push mounted by Rage Gaming is getting stopped dead in its tracks. I'm sure we're going to be seeing at least another set of specialists being used as we speak. Vector has that claw in hand as he broke the previous kill, but he's getting taken out. 12 seconds, one last push. Of course, Sensei has a second Annihilator. He's out of the hill. He's looking for more. Getting kills left, right, and center. 5 seconds. If I was a betting man, I would say my money is on the side of Zero Remorse as they close out the first map, 250-46.
Even the Stormbreaker can actually break the point. That point looked too good. Zero Remorse, they had a very good hold, and you could spot Sensei finally bringing out the Annihilator. He just put the nail on the coffin right there. He just had to solidify the win for Zero Remorse. That is key. That is what they want to actually do it tonight. And currently, they have the first game, which is Hardpoint standoff, which is very, very key. Going into this matchup now, everybody's hyped. S&D will be very slow for these guys. That is, hopefully, they are all complete in the lobby to go into the next game. But so far, Zero had a very good game. You could tell that they knew what they were doing. They had a very good hold. They were winning that gunfight, which was very key. Rage Gaming had 4 players, which is a disadvantage. But even the 4 players, we still said it, they actually still lagging, but they just couldn't get the point in control. They just couldn't hold the point. And anyways, regardless, it is GG's to both teams.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. It was a good start, a good showing from the side of Zero, as they make a bit of an opening statement. I don't know, they really are looking clinical. They got their rotations done, they got their setups. And then, like I said, if you have the correct setups, 2 players in hill, two anchors or one anchor and one AR watching an angle, you could see players like Sensei just take over. When he was working top and bottom grannies, getting those kills left, right, and center, got a second annihilator, just completely frying all over the place. Even if it is a 5-on-5, if your players are going off like that, it's going to look like the same scoreline if you ask me. But regardless, we are hoping that the players from Rage Gaming can get in, all 5 of them. If they cannot, in the next 5 minutes, I believe is the call, it is going to be all she wrote for them, which is not the outcome that we want.
Sensei is a man of many talents. He can use the SMG, he can use the assault rifle, he can use the sniper, and the final point, you could see how he played that point to perfection right there. I mean, you could spot his teammates in the point with the control, and he was just doing the damage outside. Getting the shots in, making sure there was no push. He had full-on control. Nobody could actually push it to the point from bottom. Sensei was there waiting for them. I mean, around the point with the Annihilator, he was also there waiting for them, waiting to just greet you with the Annihilator shot or the CBR4. You just couldn't make any play right there. You just couldn't get to the point. Just couldn't get the control, and Rage Gaming had a very, very rough one in the final hill. I mean, even from the beginning of the game, you saw what Rage did. They tried their best to get like 10 seconds very, very fast, but they just lost it. They still couldn't get full control of the point. I mean, Zero got a scrap time, which is very key in playing any hardpoint game. Getting the scrap time is also very key, and they bounced back. And after that, they had a very, very good hold. You could spot Indaize going. I think it was the second rotation. Indaize was in the point. That was that speed 2, but he just couldn't stay live along for them to get a lot of points in the game. I mean, the game was over as it started. I mean, if you ask me, the game was over as it started.
Just because of the start, the fact that there was a 4v5. Okay, we have an update for everyone. Okay, it is with a heavy heart that the admins have let us know that unfortunately Rage Gaming will be forfeited in a 3-0 as they couldn't get all of their players in. I know that it is always a tough call, and no one wants to see anyone go out via forfeit, but it is the nature of the game. We are an hour after start, and we've only had one map. It's not ideal, but unfortunately, there's the circumstances. So, first game, Zero Remorse versus Rage Gaming, which was absolutely lining up to be a complete banger. Just couldn't quite work out, as it's going to be a Zero Remorse that walk away with the 3-0 victory.
Regardless, GG's to both teams. I mean, actually showing up even a 4v5, you need to respect the teams. GG's to everyone that played today. I mean, Rage Gaming, they still came out. They still displayed what they had. I mean, just even with the 4v5, you could tell they were really, really pushing. They were really pushing, but they just couldn't make it. So there was something missing. There was like, when you cook a food, right? The salt was missing. Either the salt, something was just missing.
Yeah, 100%.
Something was missing. But I mean, regardless, GG's to everyone that played today. Good game, good games.
Well, good game as we go towards our second one. If I'm not mistaken, it is going to be the side of Cyclone Gaming versus Valencia Esports. I don't know any of these guys, as I haven't had the privilege of casting them. So walk us through what we should be expecting for our next game.
Okay, so first of all, I need to say this. Cyclone Gaming, that has been the best team. Normally, I would say arguably the best team. That has just been the best team in the scene. You can quote me anywhere. Ask anybody in the scene, they will tell you Cyclone Gaming, they have been the most consistent team in the scene, and they've been on top for a reason. These guys are so good. I mean, the lineup alone is scary. Just looking at the names of those players, it will actually put fear in your body. Actually going against a team like that, it is crazy. And Valencia, to me, I've not really seen them play like that, but for the little I've seen, they're actually a very good team too. So these are also two very good teams. But Cyclone, they always have the upper hand. I mean, they always have the experience. You just can't beat experience sometimes. You just can't beat experience. You might have the gun skills going for you. You might have the early rotation. You might have the plays, but you just can't beat the experience. Valencia's might bring us on tonight. Those guys are very tricky because I saw them play a last tournament and they amused me. I was amazed. I didn't expect that from them. They looked so good in the game. But against Cyclone Gaming, goodness, you need to dig deeper. You need more than a miracle to get the job done. Honestly, you need more than a miracle to actually get the job done.
I like that. Okay, well, we'll have more on the topic of who is the better side, but right after this quick break, we'll be right back. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Call of Duty Mobile Sub-Saharan Africa Championship. We are live once more with another banger lined up here. I'm myself from Trout and I'm joined by the fabulous Mr. Fab. How are we feeling?
How did you get the name? How did you know he was fabulous?
I just guessed. That was crazy.
Yeah, that's good. Yes, fabulous. Yeah. I'm happy to be here once again. I said it earlier on. This is a very big stage, and this team's actually playing at this level. It's crazy to see how they've grown. You know, they've put in the work. I mean, some of these teams, if they've been playing for over 2 years, if I'm not wrong. They've been playing, and for them to get to this level, it is not easy. It's not everyone that can actually come to this level. So, I mean, kudos to all of them playing today. And this team's playing today actually one of the biggest. So, one of the biggest, which is Cyclone Gaming and the Valencias. These are two giants in the scene. So, it's also going to be a crazy one. We saw Zero and Rage Gaming. You thought that was it. Nah, we have something else for you guys today. Cyclone Gaming, Valencias, another amazing matchup. So, I mean, Trout, I'm happy. I'm really excited to be here.
I couldn't agree more. As we're going to change things up a little bit as we start things off on a firing range Hardpoint as we see these two teams completely send it towards P1.
Done.
Okay, starting off P1, looks like it is a fantastic start here from the side of Cyclone Gaming as they tend to do these things as picking up a good amount of time to start off the hill.
I mean, you already know what you know what time it is. It's what seems he playing Triller right now, really going for a kill, just holding it down. Definitely, you spot these guys trying to go for streak upon streak, and so far they once again they command the game. They set a pace for the game, and they're currently still in the lead of the game. There is a slight contest, and finally they get it. I mean, you can actually count out Valencia. These are very, very good players too. Creator currently the point for the Valencia. And now they get a good hold of the point. But how long will they make it to? Because you know, Cyclone Gaming won't stop without. But definitely, they need to go out. Everything got to the point. But so far, Valencia they still control the point. Oh goodness, not for long.
Yeah, it was a good 10-second hold there, but going into P2, pretty much even Stevens. 2 seconds between these two teams, not that much. But on the side of Spawns, it really looks like the side of Cyclone have gotten set up. And of course, we have Mr. Michael in the top of the snipering nest here, and he has just got to turn left, right, and center, fry out people, make sure they don't get anywhere near the point. But as I say that, he seems to have missed everyone, as it's just Bailey in the point, trying to do everything that he can before he gets taken out.
I keep saying it. This team needs to make sure they have a support for Bailey, because you've seen Bailey's play. Bailey has been the OBJ for the side of second game for a very long time. So I keep saying it. They need one man again to join him. He needs the support. You can notice he's always in the points. He's always going early to the next point. He's always around the point. So he needs that support and that hold if they really, really want to win. But anyways, regardless, they make it work. Even with one man in the point, I don't know how they do it, but they always make it work. He's still in the point, having a very good time.
Well, he's still in the point, picking up time for his team, but his teammates are now slowly getting ready to go for the rotation here. As you can see, it's number 5, nothing but Simpy, all the way getting set up on the next spawn here. He has pretty much the entire team of, I believe that I forget the second name, Valencia. They're also trying to they're trying to hold as best they can. Psycho and Creator going back to back to hold the point for now. So on the pop, it is going to be the side of Valencia picking up time. Will the side of Cyclone be able to break on in, maybe through the front of the hill, as we see a little bit of a streaks used, but no actual kills from it, just a bit of information. But live, he finds 2. It's going to be a 1 versus 2 for Cyclone on the hill. He finds the kills, but he can't get the trades as Mr. SV. How do you pronounce that? How would you pronounce that?
Simz is in the point.
I'm not even going to try that.
Yeah, no, Sims is a good player. I think he's one of the players that when you hear his name in the community, I mean, it's just straight on fear, because he would always want to nuke you. He always gets the avenue. He always put that avenue to actually nuke you. I mean, when it comes to tournaments, comes to screens, comes to regular rank game, he's just that guy. Anyway, Cyclone now in the point, having a good hold. Bailey still making his way out. Spots one player, very close, gets the job done. Synchro for on the side of Valencia. They know better now to play towards next, because now they've lost the spawns. Okay, now they have the new spawn for next, but they lost time in the whole point. So definitely need to get themselves straight into the next point. And so far, they're doing just that.
Well, Simpy is the one, like you said, he's simply in the point trying to break it all by himself on the rotation, and him and his team worked together so beautifully to flip out those spawns, which was a fantastic rotation there for Valencia, but they actually couldn't hold it. Like you said, it was a good rotation. They got the spawns, but of course now the side of Cyclone, back in the point they go. Kill feed, nothing but orange, and they are ticking over 1 second at a time, as every turn it is somebody looking down the barrel of Cyclone, and you can see it's going to be live, pushing out, getting information, making those pushes a little bit more difficult. And something you alluded to a little bit earlier, utility being used so effectively by both teams, both of them throwing their stuns, throwing their smokes, got their trophy systems out. So having said that, it seems though the side of Cyclone Gaming just that one step ahead continuously, as they have almost a 100-point lead here.
I keep saying experience is like the best thing. Experience is the best thing you can ever have when going to a game like this, because now it doesn't matter how fast you go to the next point, Cyclone will always break the point. That is the crazy thing. It doesn't matter how fast you go to the next point. It doesn't matter how strong you are in the hold. There is always there's always that one man going for the highlight reel and the CBR for whatever gun he has in hand, making sure he gets control of this point. But so far, goodness, Creator will fall to this young man. I believe that is Michael CODM once again, going to his usual spot. He loves to play this position. He has been here all day and he's still doing right. But finally, we'll go down, not for long. The side of Valencia, they know better. They know, make sure you get this young man out of there, or else it is going to be a bloodbath. Now, definitely, streaks will start flying out, and the operator skill for this young man is already playing. But Creator will go down. Had to go to no use right there. Cyclone still in the lead. I mean, what else? What did you expect, Drought? What did you really expect from this team?
Well, going off what you said, that Cyclone is the best team in the game right now. They are certainly showing it. But having said that, they have managed to lose the majority of time on our second set of rotations here. So we will be going through for a rotation. They have those spawns. But I'd say a good 40 seconds or so actually went the way of Valencia. That was a very, very, very good hold. They put themselves back within 60 points here. So it's not a complete blowout as of right now, but they need to get into this next point. And this is where we saw Bailey completely take over with that P12 in hand. But like you said, I like how Michael finds a spot in the map to get those rotational kills. Here he is again. He seems to like getting up into the second story of a building, into the sniper's nest, you name it. He tries to kill everyone just getting close to the hill, and this is where it starts to get scary. So on the pop, it's going to be the side of Cyclone picking up a good amount of time and holding off the defense as they come one at a time.
You don't have to see him. You don't really have to see the young man. He just knows that he knows he's getting kills. You don't have to see him around the map. I don't know how he does it. I don't know. He's currently playing top 10. It's a very crucial spot to hold, and he's holding it well. There is nobody around it to get the job done. But he gets someone with the 15-19, still frying right now. But finally, he will go down. And Valencia's currently they are actually very happy because they got the man of that point, because he is a menace to the game right now. They have the control of this point, and instead of Cyclone now, they are down. They're looking like they might just lose this point when it comes to objective. But I keep saying it that you just can't have one man on the point alone. You need that support. That is very key to winning hardpoint games. But they know how to make it work. But regardless, Valencia, you can't count this team out. They are very sneaky. They're very tricky. They know what to do, and they know how to break a point also.
Well, I was going to say, having said that the side of Cyclone does everything correct, they have been correctly broken off of every rotation. As now, it looks like the side of Valencia have actually put it within 25 seconds, which is not what we were expecting at the start of this. But as I say that, the kill feed goes all orange once more, and Cyclone gets set up. Off of the back of some beautiful simp shots there, but it doesn't matter. 2 go down now. It's just Simp still alive. He's getting out. So it tends to be going this way, that eventually it's one player left in the hill. In this case, it was Bailey. He gets taken out. But like you said, you need to be putting a few more resources onto the point from the side of Cyclone. Otherwise, you'll continuously get broken. They're doing a good job now, but his live teammates are falling around him as we go for this rotation. And unlike the previous rotation, P3 is now going to be going to the side of Valencia on this rotation, as they will be getting the spawns on the next point.
Oh goodness, not for long. Live person will actually take him out. Goodness. But they still have the spawn, which is very key. Where you can spot the side of Cyclone, they go for the scrap time, which is very important also. But you know, Valencias, they know better. They know that there'll be a break. So best tip for me is just go to the point. If you break the point, I don't care. But I'm still on the point, and I still get some time in the hill. I mean, before it gets broken. But so far, they get the smart play, they get the IQ play. Go towards nest. It's very key to winning hardpoint games. And so far, Valencia's actually doing it very right there. That is Nondi. Way down, Later is going bizarre right now with the shot. getting the shot in one after the other. Michael will fall, and now they are in the point. They are pushing this game to a very close one. Valencia once again. My goodness, Nondi is not stopping right now. Annihilator for this young man is making good use of what he has at the moment. Really making good use of what he really has. But so far, Valencia, they now push the game to a close one. I mean, Cyclone, they need to be worried right now, Trout. They need to be worried right now.
They need to be worried indeed. That was an entire, pretty much, team of utility used there from Valencia as they managed to try to keep that hill for as long as possible. But as we say that, they simply get broken straight back into the point as Simp and Mr. Simp 2 just completely their way into the hill there. They cannot get through it. It was a fantastic hold. They got a good amount of time there for the side of Valencia. They used every bit of utility, like I said, stuns, 2 annihilators, but it wasn't enough as Cyclone bully their way on through. We're going to our third set of rotations here, and it is going to be Mr. Creator in the point with another annihilator that has been popped, but he isn't able to find a few more kills. But Bailey, he's on a mission. He's here. Simp and Co fly to the point. They have streaks being used as they are looking to close it out here, as they only need a solid 35 seconds.
And I keep saying it that they know how to play the game. I keep saying if it is not broke, don't fix it. Definitely, Bailey's might just be the secret sauce the side of Cyclone they have right now. It might just be the secret sauce they have, because he's always in the point alone, but they always find a way to win the hardpoint. I don't know how they do it, but they always make it possible. But not for long, my goodness, not for long. Valencia, as they'll get that break. They did a very good job in the former hill. They got a lot of points in that hill. I mean, you could tell this young one was going up with the annihilator. Nondi was going crazy with the annihilator, and you saw Creator also going with the annihilator, trying to get the hold. But Valencia's now, they have control of this point, but not for long. Creator comes to the point, but not for long also. Simzy is just shredding. I mean, he has over 30 kills in the game. My goodness. The game is almost coming to a close. He's pushing 40 right now. Can he make that his mission? Can he make it work right now? So far, Valencia's are down. Cyclone, they're currently up. They are looking good right now.
They are looking good indeed. Onto the rotation we go, 5 seconds before the hill is available. And of course, it's none other than Bailey, the man soaking up the time. 23 kills to his name, but he probably has about 5 minutes of hill time, as he has just been that man that you can turn to find the OBJ time. Only 5 seconds left now. A whole herd of the side of Valencia has to get onto this point. They have to get close as possible, but they are unable to do that, as it's going to be Cyclone that close it out, 250 to 181.
I mean, that would not just work out. You just couldn't work out. I mean, you win your gunfight, you get to the point, and you get the job done. So far, Cyclone, they did it right. I mean, the only thing I would say about Cyclone's game right now is, I mean, their OBJ, they still need to have one more man to support Bailey's. I mean, just imagine Bailey's off days. That would be rough for the team. They need somebody to always be with him to actually make sure that they get the job done as fast as possible, regardless. I keep saying it. They make it. If it's not broken, don't fix it. They always make it work. Just look at Simzy right there. He really pushed 40. I said it earlier in the game. He was pushing 40, and he just made that work. So GG's to both teams. Valencia's Cyclone Gaming, GG's to both teams.
Yeah, but I mean, just from the stat line there, you can talk about how every single person on the side of Cyclone broke 30 kills, at 30 kills being the lowest, and that's Bailey in the point, and nobody on the side of Valencia managed to get 30 kills at all. So just in terms of frying and just KDs and how many kills were on the map, it just went the way of Cyclone at every turn, and that came with the back of streaks, it came off the back of nice utility usage. And when we did see those crazy holds from Valencia, was off the back of utility usage, like the fact that they smoked off an entrance, and then they had two annihilators popped at the same time, and they just soaked up as much time as possible. But once that utility ran out, it was Cyclone all again. They just simply walked into the hill, got the kills with regular weapons, and then they sort of like ran home with it once they started using specialists like the annihilator. Purified once they just all came out for the side of Cyclone, where they just held an entire point for a good 30-40 seconds, and eventually that kind of lead just runs away from you, and they close out the map. So fantastic stuff there from the side of Cyclone.
I would say props to Valencia also, because they did some plays right. You know, they had some early rotation, but the only issue I would say from Valencia is that they just couldn't hold the point for long. I mean, you could spot them going towards nest, even like with 15 seconds to go in the previous hill, they played towards nest. I mean, I was thinking that would help them hold the point for long, but they just can't make it work, because Cyclone Gaming, aside them playing with only one man in the point, they make sure their fraggers really frag. They really out frag. Just look at things right there. He was doing work for the side of Cyclone Gaming, and also Michael. He always plays for the higher ground right there, which is very key. Playing a hard point and playing firing range. If you ask me, Michael went to the I believe that the sniper's nest. He had a very good play there. Down to top 10, the high ground too, he paid off. I mean, Hardpoint, you need to have those high ground. You need to make sure you get those kills. Even if the OBG might not be the best thing you have for your team, but make sure you get those kills in. I mean, they did just that, and they did it very well tonight. That was a good game.
Absolutely,
Actually, I think that was a very good game.
That was an excellent game. But having said that, Valencia also had fantastic games, fantastic holds throughout that. And they managed to break Cyclone several times as it came down to a set of trades, and then they broke in. But, I mean, 60 points between the two teams, that's nothing to be scuffed at. So huge GGs to the side of Valencia there. I just want to touch on what you said about Michael there. As he got into those sort of like elevated positions, and he played a role which I like to call your root man, your flex player, where he sits up top and he kills those players on rotation. So even if his team is picking up time, he's already looking into the enemy spawn for the next kill, where he's trying to kill these players or maybe flipper things out, and he just makes it difficult to get to the point. And then often what happens is when you have a player out there like Michael, they have to look for him, right? They know that he's in the area, and then that slows down the push even further. You can get a better setup, and then on top of that, he's earning streaks. That's another stress. And then you have to keep your head on a swivel the whole time. And then all of these factors play into one another, and then eventually you can't break a hill effectively. You start pushing one at a time, and no matter how good you are, you simply can't kill everyone every time. You can do it maybe once or twice, but if your team is doing well, like the side of Cyclone was doing, they all drop 30. It's going to be very, very difficult to come back from that. But as I say that, we're going into game number 2, which is going to be S&D on Summit.
I mean, that was a very good Hardpoint game. You could tell these guys, they knew what they were doing. They know how to play the game. So respect to everyone that actually got into the Hardpoint game and played. But so far we go to the S&D, which I would say is a map you would see some players really frag out, which is the snipers. And Michael surprisingly would definitely be going crazy in this map, down picking up the sniper, if I'm not wrong, or no. Am I wrong with the sniper? No. He's doing just that with the weapon he has in hand. Goodness, life will get the pick again on Nondi. Nondi with 4, and Valencia's currently now down to 3 players. Cyclone currently having the upper hand now. Michael with the SVD. Oh goodness, not SVD. Sorry, the Koshka. Oh my goodness, I apologize for that. Now with the Koshka, really having a good time with the Koshka. Now down to 2 players. Cyclone with the lead. I mean, they can just run away with the first round. But I mean, I know Valencia for a fact. These are also very good players. They know what to do. They know how to hold the point. But how well can they control it? It just couldn't work there. Michael shuts him down. Michael is, I keep calling him the boogeyman. Because he's just the last man you see before you die, and he's making sure there is no way Valencia gets the job done. My goodness.
That was a fantastic round there from the side of Cyclone, and that came off the back of Michael and that sniper in hand. The Koshka picking up 3 for himself in the hill, in the round there. Got the first blood, and then when he was trying to get set up for his team, he just watched the angles. He knew where the pushes were going to come from. Get some nice, quick, and easy kills, and just like that, they secure the round. They are now 1-0 up and slowly sending their way towards a victory.
I mean, Cyclone game, they know what to do. Just avoid those early pushes, or just avoid those aggressive plays. But you know for a fact, the Eagle won't let them stay in one spot. They also go for the aggressive play, and Valencia has to pick up the first kill for the side, for their team right now. They get a good play going for themselves. But Cyclone, they need to get the bomb planted, and that will be Mahdi Ali, which I know for a fact is a very good player. Surprisingly, he's not sniping today. He's a very experienced player with a sniper. But now using the MC team, please, Trout, have you seen the new attachment to the gun? They make the gun look like an automatic boss gun. The gun looks so good right now, the M16. It looks really, really good. I mean, if you can share it, please be my guest. Make sure you go nuts with the gun, because there is nobody stopping you. Aside the SMGs in play, but the AR, the M16 will always trade you. We always trade you.
I mean, I agree. And at the moment, the trades just happen to be working out for the side of... oh, my word. Michael with a quick 2-piece there. Nice little bit of a quick scope as he turns the tides a little bit here. Gets the advantage back over for Cyclone Gaming, which I was going to say it was Valencia with the lead in terms of life count. But at the moment, it has been completely turned on its head. Bomb in hands of Simpia. He will be able to get that bomb down, if I'm not mistaken, over at B. That's exactly what's going to happen. Bomb has now been planted, and they have to get a defuse coming through from the side of... well, I was going to say from the side of Valencia, but of course it's going to be Michael with the sniper just getting kills left, right, and center. Another 2 for him in the round. He is just a force to be reckoned with, as even in tough situations, he gets good kills.
And when you ask an OG player, Call of Duty team about it, they'll tell you that you barely snipe on this map. But this young man makes it work. I mean, how does he work out? How do you get those quick screw to the coach guy right there? And now going to a different one when the ZRG play right there. Spots in, but just couldn't get his shot in. I mean, the full team is frying. You just can't rely on only one player. I mean, Simsy is frying. Biggs is frying. Cyclone Gaming. This is a very complete roster. I mean, you have everything on the point. You have OBJ players. You have full-on fraggers. You have full-on slayers. And you have a very dangerous sniper, which will just cram. That is the icing to the cake right there. A very dangerous sniper. He knows what to do at the time, at the right time. Now it's a 1v5. I don't know how he wants to get his job done. It needs a miracle to, oh goodness, the miracle will be up right there. And he will go down to the side of Cyclone once again. It is a 3-0. My goodness, Trout, what is happening?
It's a very, very dominant performance here from the side of Cyclone. They are getting aggressive. They're getting those kills. They're finding first bloods consistently. And I think that's in itself is already such an achievement. You get that first pick, and then you can play off of that, make the in-game decision as to which bomb you want to put the bomb down on. And with the life advantage, these guys are so terrifying. And just the aggression that the side of Cyclone is showing, they are not afraid to go push into the spawn, find those first bloods once again. And as you can see here, of course, it's going to be none other than Life finding that first pick, or Simp, excuse me, not Life, finding that first pick, and again, shifting the tides in favor of the side of Cyclone. And again, Simp's following it up with another two-piece there. So it's just, it looks like everything is the color gold as Cyclone, whatever they touch is just falling around them.
It's really good right now. It's really, really good because, I mean, Cyclone Gaming, they are doing it right. I mean, you could tell this guy was on the same spot and he got kills back to back. I mean, it was 2 different rounds, the same spot, but Valencia, they just couldn't change their play. They kept on pushing. They just couldn't change their play. And Cyclone, they will always make sure they capitalize on every mistake the opponent makes. I mean, now it is down to 1v3 again. We've seen 1v3 or 1v4, 1v5 for like 3 times. Now, this is the 4th time we're seeing 1v4. Would there be a change right now? He's all alone with the switch with X9. Can he make it work? Madiali with a pistol in hand, all alone right now. But he's in a very rough spot. Seems he will put a bullet to his head and shut him down once again. Cyclone Gaming, they once again get the 4th round to themselves. I mean, if you ask me, Trout, I would say for a fact, these are the aggressors right now. Cyclone Gaming, they're currently the aggressors in this game.
I couldn't agree more. They are just getting those first bloods. Again, I can't iterate that enough. It is so key in a game mode like S&D. If you find that first blood as consistently as these guys, and I mean, look at the pixel angles that I believe this is Life that I'm on top of here, as he's checking to find a bit of information there. I mean, a quick slide, he gets the angle to call out at least 1 or 2 players, and then they know where to push from. And again, Simp finding that first blood, Bailey following it up. So it's already a 2 versus 5. It's just not looking good for the side of Valencia. They cannot make it happen. They simply cannot win their gun and fights. They're just getting taken out at every turn, and they're getting scared. I think that's important from the mental side of things. You're getting sort of like pushed so heavily, you're afraid to take certain gunfights, and you're afraid that you're going to get taken out. And again, it's going to be a 1 versus 3, make it a 0 versus 5, a 1 versus 5, make it a 0 versus 5, and that is 5 straight rounds to the side of Cyclone, as it seems like S&D is just completely their game mode.
I mean, aside like the game, you need to talk about like their mind play. You can see Cyclone really having a really a good play on the side of Valencia's right now, because now they're actually very. I said it earlier on, they are scared to push, which is very important in playing S&D. I mean, you need to know when to push and you need to know when to be very passive. But they are always scared to push, and Life is always at the right spot to shut him down. If you ask me before today, I would say Madiali should be a very good player to go against Cyclone game. But tonight, he just can't get a good game going. Cyclone Gaming, they are looking very good. Now it's a 1v3 once again. I said it earlier on, we've seen a 1v4, we've seen a 1v5, and now once again a 1v3. This is 5-0 right now, and Cyclone Gaming currently, they are just absolutely dominating the entire show. I mean, he's all alone. Nandi needs to make sure he gets the job done. 1 against Hawk, finally gets 1, but just couldn't make it work. Cyclone Gaming, they get the job done once again.
Well, they're only 1 round away from closing it out here in a good old 7-0 fashion, so they only have to win 1 round on defense. And if they've got the same momentum that they had in attack, it's going to be very, very difficult for the side of Valencia to come back. But we have seen crazy things happen in Call of Duty, so if anything's going to happen for the side of a comeback, it's going to have to start now. And here you go, the aggression starting off a good start here, as it's going to be, Mahed who gets the first blood there, and unfortunately it's going to be Simp and Bailey who go back-to-back, and the trade's just working out there. 3 versus 3 now. Good start, but on the side of Valencia Gaming, it's sort of like a 1 versus 2 here for a Life to come on round. As he might have just slipped the net, get the back, get a bit of a pinch coming through. He might be able to get the perfect timing to find 1 or 2 of these players. They don't know where he is. He's going to find a quick pick, and just like that, it's a 1 versus 3, which was looking like a 3 versus 3. Nandi,
oh my goodness,
always the last man alive, and now he has to go fetch the bomb as well.
I keep saying it. They just don't have. I won't say what it takes, but they need to work on the strats more. Because you just can't keep doing something that over and over again, and you know fully well it's not working. You could tell that at some point they played it too passive. There's some times for you to push. They played it extremely passive, and it really affected them. You could spot the side of second gaming. They were at every corner, and they made sure they had full control, and life would just seal. If we just put the nail to the coffin right there, and that is a 7-0 for the side of second gaming. They once again get the victory in this matchup. I mean, what more do you expect from a team like this? Honestly, what more do you expect?
Well, at this stage, I wouldn't say anything, as that was a complete clinical whitewash. There wasn't even a single round for the side of Valencia there. So if you ask me, now's the time to go back, watch the stream again, Valencia, see where you made your mistakes, and set up a little bit more, as it just seems that Cyclone, they know what they're doing, especially in a game like S&D. They have those those routes, I'd call them, quick routes to get through, get as much information as possible, and then find that first blood. I mean, I believe it was Simp every round that would simply get up onto top catwalk, get that first blood onto whoever was trying to get over towards A. So just need a couple of drawing board things, a couple of revision of the stats, and I'm pretty sure we'll get straight back into it. But we are now 2-0 up to the side of Cyclone, and you were calling a 3-0, and it's looking like it's a possibility at this point. But if there was ever going to be a reverse sweep, it has to start in game 3, and that's going to be a control. But in terms of mental, if you were in the shoes of Valencia, what would you be saying in the comms? How would you get your team out of a slump like this?
Honestly, for an IGL, definitely you need to make sure you still have that spirit, that fighting spirit. But I know for a fact the players might just be a little bit down, right? Going 2-0 right now in a best of 5. You know for a fact this is your last chance to make it work. If you don't make it work right now, it is night for you. So they need to make sure they get everything sorted out now. Every mistake needs to be fixed in the control game. They need to make sure they are very, very organized, very, very coordinated. Control games, your gun skills are very important. You playing the point also very important. I mean, control is a mixture of team deathmatch and domination together. So you need to balance everything out. So I mean, I hope the side of Valencia they would look at how the games have been and try their best to improve for him, because definitely there's a lot of things that need to be changed from the rotations, the push. A lot of things need to be changed. But so far, I keep saying it's GG's to everyone that played. I mean, it's not easy to actually play on this big stage. So GG's, good games, really, really good games.
Well, I mean, these guys are the top 8 teams in Africa, right? They were invited to play in this competition.
Yes.
It's not for a fact that these guys are on a whim here. They are all the top teams in South Africa, that's not true. In sub-Saharan Africa, as these guys are the ones that you turn to make the players, the players that you look to, like the classic, like, for instance, the first thing I thought was, wow, Sensei's going to be in this game, it's going to be a real show. Now in this game, we have players like Michael, and you're like, wow, we know it's going to be a show, especially if he's getting snipes like that. These are all the top tier of the top of the top of the top of the top, all putting on a performance here. And this is where you really learn from one another. Even if you go down in a 3-0, if you go down in a 3-2, it doesn't matter. Every game is a learning opportunity when you're playing at this level. Yeah. You know where you need to fix. Now you can see in S&D, the side of Valencia, they're getting punished, especially on a map like Summit. Now they know next time they get into a game with the side of Cyclone, they will veto out Summit and try for a different S&D map, get a little bit more aggressive. Don't play into the style of Cyclone. And at this stage, it is like a cyclone across the map. Once they get going, it's just a rotation, they get momentum, and then it just spirals out of control for the other team, and they just get taken over. And you, in terms of how to counter that, is just don't play to their strengths, play to your own.
As the first game Hardpoint, you could tell that when Michael was playing Tower, he could tell that the side of Valencia, they were looking for a way to kill him instead of going to the point. That is the first mistake. Don't focus on the player. Let him roam free. He's a flex player. Let him roam free. They always find a way to get towards Michael, but they just can't get him. And that is one thing for Cyclone Gaming. They know why they're in the game. Get to the point, get the job done, get the kills in, and win the game. Also, the S&D, you could tell that side of Valencia, they didn't want to push. At some point, they have to slow it down because Michael is always waiting for you. I mean, I keep saying he's the boogeyman. He's the last person you see, or his scopes are the last thing you see before you die, because Michael is always waiting to actually get his shots in. So a lot of things need to change for the side of Valencia. They need to make sure, if they have the strat, stick to the strat and get the job done. Don't be scared. It is a game for a reason. Things happen. Just don't be scared of the team you're actually going. And definitely they have actually big names. Samesy is a big name. Michael is a big name. Life is a big name. They're all big names, but just don't be scared. Make sure you stick to your strat and just get the job done. Just get the job done. But I mean, regardless, the control game, there has to be a change, if you ask me. There really has to be a change.
I agree in the sense of a change. And I think that's a big thing about mental. A lot of the time in professional esports, FPS specifically, whether it's mobile, if it's on PC, if it's on controller, it doesn't matter. Mental is 80% of the game for me. And if you're in a bad space, if you feel like you're going to get punished anyway, then you probably are going to get punished. So if you can come out of this headstrong, guns up, and you have to, you've got the caliber. You made it to the winners bracket semifinals. It's not here. You're not here by luck. So Valencia, now's the time to pull finger, get that reverse sweep on the horizon. But in order to do that, you have to find a little bit of consistency and a little bit more, for lack of a better term, gumcha, like oomph. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, you just have to have a little bit more. Don't be so scared. Rise to the challenge because
the
confidence. Yeah, you need to have a little bit of confidence because you have the skill. The caliber is there. So it's just a matter of showcasing it now.
Hopefully there will be a change in the Contra game. I'm sure of it. I'm sure there will be a change because if you ask me, Majali is one of the best players I've seen in a very long time. I mean, that young man can actually use any weapon you give to him, the X9, the CBR4, and even the sniper. So I was actually expecting to see him snipe today. I actually saw him with the CBR4. I was surprised because he's a very good sniper also. So some players that you know forever they're actually good. It might just be an off day for them, and the off day is the day they go against a team like Cyclone game in which they would not give you a breathing space. It is just attack. There is no stopping that team right now. So I mean, I hope they slow it down. Look at the Contra game. Make sure they get the job done. Just don't die. Play for lives too.
Exactly.
Honestly, play for lives. It's important. Play for lives to get the captures. Make sure you get the job done. That is the important thing. Get the job done.
Yeah, well, like you said, so you need to be able to balance all the factors in a game mode like Control. The fact that you have a set number of lives, the fact that there is a set amount of time, and it is also like Domination, Hardpoint, S&D, and TDM all in one game mode. I love Control, man. I really think that it is the best game mode that they have added to a competitive side of Call of Duty in a very long time. And I think it's a way for teams to really showcase where strats work, right? S&D is fantastic for strats, but where it changes in a game mode like Control is you could have multiple attempts at a strat, right? So if it doesn't work the first attempt, try change it a little bit, and you can do these things in game. Whereas S&D, you have one life. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, So I think now it's going to be showing which team has the better strats and who can execute them better. But this comes back to what you were saying. The side of Cyclone, just so much experience, and experience is worth its weight in gold in FPS games. You could be having the best game of your life, but if you don't know where to look, and somebody from the side of Cyclone knows exactly where to look at that exact time, knows the timings of the maps, knows the ins and outs, knows the spawns a little bit better, it's going to count for a little bit more, in my opinion.
I mean, this Control is going to be an hybrid. It's literally an hybrid because I said it earlier on, it's TDM and domination. So they need to definitely get that balance in the objective plays and the kills, and just make sure, I keep saying it, just do not die. If you see that it is time for you to, if you notice you are down lives, please camp. I don't care if you camp at this point, just camp and get the job done. Because normally guys will say, oh, you're camping. You are here for a mission right now. Make sure you hold the point. Make sure you stay alive. If it is there for you to camp, I mean, I wouldn't say camp like that, but I mean, just do whatever it takes to get the job done. Anyway, straight back into the game, and you spot Cyclone game. I said it earlier on. They go for the B push, and which is always key. You can spot them going for the aggressive play. On the side of Valencia, they just can't make a way into the point. You spot them once again with aggressiveness in the point. I mean, Valencia already dropping like flies now. There is a contest right now. Finally, there's a contest, but Cyclone game is still very aggressive. Michael still in the point with the PP19, and he's still going crazy in the point. And currently, he's the only one in the point. My goodness, Cyclone gaming once again. They've left one man in the point. I believe you can only leave Michael in the point because he would do a lot of damage to the side of Valencia. But so far, they just like that get control of B. Oh my! That
was an excellent retake there onto B. Sent their players over. They had players like Michael and Simp just going off in and around the point. They have that life count advantage. This is all the way up to 4 now. And as you can see, they're trying to relocate their resources, come through the mid-map, see if they can find a couple of picks before they find the opening over towards A. They haven't found anything. They have just over 2 minutes, just under 2 minutes to work with here. And with that large cushion of time, they can sort of slow it down, get a few more kills, and then work their way to the point, like what's happening now. Nice bit of pre-fire coming through from the side of Creator there, but he will have to do a little bit more than that consistently as his teammates are falling around him. And as you can see, 3, 4 go down. That is the opening you need. 5, it's going to be the entire side of Cyclone onto the point. And as you can see, it's going to be nothing other than easy in the spawn, making it difficult for the side of Valencia to even contest this point.
I mean, they tried the spawn trap. You know, Cyclone Gaming, they tried to go for the spawn trap. They really tried it, but easy to go down right there. Now there is still a contest with the side of Valencia. Now they might be just down to 5 lives in the game. My goodness. Now this is the point I would say camp. But if you camp right now, you will lose the objective once again. So it is a very confusing game for the side of Valencia right now. They need to make decisions right on their feet. They need to make sure they are either in the point or getting the kills on Cyclone Gaming. But from the look of things, it just wouldn't work out. Cyclone is in the point. They have the kills. I mean, just look at the whole guy from life right there. He's just straight on beaming the team with an LMG like that. I mean, running with the LMG, you know for a fact these guys are not yet to play at all. Cyclone Gaming, they secure the first round.
And that was a game of TDM right towards the end there. They waited for a good team coordinated push, got 5 kills, sent 3 players onto the point, immediately started capping it. And then if you're in the shoes of Valencia, you really start to panic. And then what happens is you tend to push the hill by yourself straight into the line of sight of the Cyclone players, and they just pick you up one at a time. And they're trying to replicate exactly what Cyclone did in the first round and try to get B. But as of right now, the trades are coming through easy with that Annihilator. He finds a quick 2-piece, but he can't quite find any more. But his teammates are going to be falling around him. So actually a pretty good start there from the side of Valencia, as life count is even, and they are beginning to start the tick over towards B. Fab, hello? Alright, so it appears that we have lost Fab, which is a bit of a sad time, as maybe a connection issue has come through. I'm not entirely sure, but in the interim, it looks like everything is gold, as the side of Cyclone continues to roll the snowball of momentum, and that life count, as we see streaks, we see guns, you name it, is being thrown at the side of Valencia here, as they cannot get anything going, as they are down to a whole 6 life difference. And as you can see, spawn trap beginning to develop here. The side of Cyclone pushing into the spawn, getting as many kills as possible. Michael, with that PP Bison in hand, he is just clearing the point left, right, and center. It doesn't matter. There is no answer to the ferocity of Cyclone Gaming at this point, as they have lost more players. Oh, well, they have lost less players in these 2 rounds together than the side of Valencia has in total. They are just getting burnt at every corner. As you can see, specialists are there, streaks available for Simp. It is not looking great for the side of Valencia. 9v8, 19v8, no ticks have been found. It is not looking ideal. Well, as I say that, it actually appears that B has been captured. It's going to be a 4 versus 18, make it a 3 versus 18. Of course, Michael is going to be the one to try and clear things out. Going to the spawn, we go 3 versus 16. They only need 1 tick. I have completely turned things on its head. Creative with some nice shots there with the Annihilator, but life takes them out. 2 versus 16. They have to get to the point. It is coming down to the wire. It's going to be a 1 versus 15. The contest is in, and just like that, the kills are going to work on out. Michael drawing the final blood, as 2 rounds quickly rack up for the side of Cyclone, and they are only 1 round away from closing the series out in a 3-0.
Lost the lead.
Back into round number 3 we go. On attack is going to be the side of Cyclone Gaming here. Creator and Mr. Daddy Fang going back to back, but Simp going back to back by himself simply gets kills left, right, and center. All 5 now fall for the side of Valencia. That is not the start you want to see. The first tick already found at B. Cyclone Gaming just dominating once more. They have really found their momentum in this control, and they are really racking up the time as quickly as possible. As I say that, it's going to be the second tick found at B. It looks like it's going to be the 3rd tick at this rate, as there has been a whole life advantage. No one is close. Here comes the spawn trap. Easy finding them as they spawn. Life is there to help him out. Things are not looking great. 16v24. Streaks all around. We have more and more specialists available. And if you're in my shoes, now's the time to play a bit of TDM. They have found the side of B, and they have 2 minutes to work with. They have everything that they need to close out this game here. So all eyes on the side of Valencia, as they have to make a comeback here and not get taken out so easily. Bailey in the spawn, he gets taken out now. So 14v9, 19. It looks like there has been a little bit of a delay now as things slow for the side of Cyclone, but that life count is still so prevalent. We get to see another set of operator streaks being used now. Of course, it's going to be Daddy Fang with that Annihilator in hand to see if he can't clear the point. Well, he has the angles to find at least 1, but as of right now, life, he's going to be finding players left, right, and center as well. 10v16. This deficit is just so difficult to combat, as no matter how well you do, if it works down to a set of trades, it's not going to be great for the side of Valencia. He has 2 more of their players go down. It is just Bailey who is trying to make something happen now. He pushes on forwards. Do we have Fab? Are you back? He has joined the server, but he is not able to talk as of right now. But 6v13, it's looking like this might be the last hurrah here for the side of Valencia. But as I say that, the kills are working out for them. Daddy finds a crucial two-piece when it is needed. And the clock now ticking down. Fab, hello, are we back?
Yes, we're back. Oh my goodness, I've missed a lot. Goodness, 2-0. Oh my god.
Oh, 5v10, things are not looking great. Things are not looking great here for the side of Valencia.
Wow. It is a best of 5, remember. So, I mean, this might just be the final game for tonight. This might just be, for example, Valencia down to just 4 lives. Oh goodness, Cyclone Gaming, once again, they keep doing this. Every time I see them play, they keep dominating and they haven't stopped since. Still on the aggressive part now, down to only 3 for the side of Valencia, down to 2 lives. Oh my goodness, down to 1 life. Please stay alive. For goodness, that will not work out. Oh god, Cyclone Gaming once again. They get the job done. They just get the job done.
Well, I mean, they just get the job done, and it was just momentum, right? They started off with that first round. They got it as quickly as possible. And I mean, then it just sort of snowballed, and at every turn, Valencia couldn't answer back. And especially now in the most recent attacking round, there was a stage where there was, I think, 10 untraded kills in a row for the side of Cyclone. They got into the spawn, they just got kills left, right, and center. And that alone created enough of a deficit between the two teams that even if it worked out to trades, it was never going to be able to be like returnable for the side of Valencia there. And unfortunately, they get taken out. And that means that's all she wrote for the games tonight as Cyclone close out the series 3-0.
And GG's to both teams, honestly. Cyclone Gaming, Valencia, GG's to both teams. These guys are very experienced. I say this is actually one of the best teams in the entire league. I mean, going against a top dog, they're both top dogs, but definitely you can tell there's a difference between the top dog and the top dog. So Cyclone Gaming, once again, they had a very good game. It looked very good for them. I mean, the Hardpoint game, the S&D game, and once again the control game. I mean, you just have to comment how well these guys have played and the consistency. I mean, looking at the stats, you've seen that they've been so consistent week in and week out. We see these guys play in different tournaments and they always show how good they are, always dominate, always come on top. Michael is at this point, should be like the simp for CDL currently. He's good. He's scary to play against. You look at him, you see fear. So I mean, Michael is something else. The full squad is crazy. Cyclone Gaming, they have everything. If you ask me, they really have everything. Honestly, they really have everything.
Absolutely, they do have everything, and the kitchen sink at this stage as they close out the 2s and 3-0, like you said. But having said that, it is nothing to be scuffed at for the side of Valencia. You made it to the winners bracket semi-finals, which means you have at the very least guaranteed yourself top 6. As we're going further, they have been knocked down into the lower bracket, but that doesn't mean much. It doesn't mean they can't make a run back into the finals, which will be coming up next weekend. But having said that, it is still a very, very good showing from them, especially in a game mode like a Hardpoint in the first respawn, as they managed to find 180 points against Cyclone, which are the Titan roster. That just shows that they have the potential to really make the comeback and do something crazy and potentially make an upset somewhere along the lines. But unfortunately, that was just not the case tonight, as Cyclone's armor was just thick and they couldn't find any weaknesses.
I keep saying that you need to learn from every game you play. I mean, Hardpoint, S&D, dominate whichever game you play. Even rank, you need to play rank consciously. You need to play scrims consciously. You need to play tournaments consciously. So you learn from the mistakes. So far, Valencia's, they're a very, very good team. You can tell they know how to win their gunfight. They just were not too coordinated enough to go against a team like Cyclone Gaming. Cyclone, they look very coordinated. They look organized. I mean, they knew what they were doing at every time. I keep saying it. I keep referring to the play Michael did at Hardpoint firing range. They kept on pushing Michael, not the point. That is mental. Imagine leaving the objective and go after a player like Michael. I mean, it is just they need to just learn from the mistakes they did today. But regardless, they're a very good team because I mean they broke some points. Some point you thought that Cyclone actually have a very good hold on Valencia's. They broke the point. They had the early rotation. They got some kills in, but they just couldn't get a job. They just couldn't have full out of the point, and they just couldn't get a job done. Cyclone Gaming once again. They keep doing it the week in and week out. They get a job done once again.
Yeah, exactly. So they have that consistency. And like you said, they were all focusing on Michael, which is a testament as to how well Michael was doing his job. That's exactly what you want to do as that irritating player, that flex player, that root man, you want to be the player that draws the resources away from the point. So he was playing his role correctly. And like you said, there is certainly a lot to be learned here for the side of Valencia. They can go back, watch the VODs, and take our comments as constructive criticism. We're not at all saying that you guys are a bad team at by any stretch of the imagination. You guys are the top 8 team in sub-Saharan Africa, one of the top 8 teams, which means you have to be doing something correct. Now's the point to really perfect the art and show them, or show everyone who's watching, what you guys are made of. And of course, next week we have a massive stage and huge things to come, and I'm very, very, very excited for that. But other than that, that's going to be all she wrote from myself and Mr. Fab. But other than that, thank you very much, ACGL, for having us. Carry Light, the sponsors, it was great. And Fab, fabulously, it was an awesome time casting with you, man. I love it.
Thank you very Thank you very much. This is my first time actually doing like proper dual casting, so I really appreciate the opportunity. And it's actually fun to be here, seeing these guys play on this big stage once again. Carry Face, ACGL doing it different. I mean, this is fun to watch. Really, really fun to watch. Even the caster and the viewers in chat right now, it is fun to watch these guys play. So I mean, all in all, it was a very good show. It was a very good game. Cheers to everyone that played today.
Absolutely. So we'll be seeing you very, very soon. That soon being Saturday. Until then, cheers for now.
All right.